What's going on, workforce? Brian here, and in this video we're talking about the 10 things that you need to know before you purchase Anthem. Anthem is a game that's coming out February 22nd, and while there's a lot that we need to talk about and cover regarding the javelins and how the game plays and how the game feels, a lot of that's going to be covered here later this month, so please subscribe to the channel and hit that like button if you want to see more Anthem content. But without further ado, let's talk about the 10 things that you need to know before you decide whether or not to purchase or pre-purchase this game. Number one, Anthem is not going to have any loot boxes. This was announced at E3 2018, where they announced it to a thunderous applause, which was a real big shocker considering the publisher of this game is EA. So then obviously the next question is, how do they plan to monetize this? They also then announced that the story DLC is free, and there's really no word yet on expansions and more, but we do know there will be selling cosmetics and who knows what else is going to be in that cash shop. They have not really unveiled what that means at this point in time, so we'll have to wait and see. Anthem is a third-person looter shooter. This is more in line with the games like Borderlands and Diablo, more so than Destiny, even though Destiny is often compared to Anthem in terms that Anthem would be a Destiny killer. But it's really not going to be that, because one of the core aspects that Anthem is missing is Anthem does not have any PvP at launch. Anthem devs have also confirmed that they are looking into crossplay, even though it is not going to be ready when the game comes out on February 22nd. Now, Anthem is designed around multiplayer. You can solo some content in the game, but you're going to find it very difficult. The game will do matchmaking for all of its harder content as well as just the shared world that this game takes place in. Now, the Endgame is referred to as the Elder Game. If you ever hear the developers talking about the Elder Game, that is what they're referring to. What happens after you beat the main story once this game is launched. But Anthem is also a games as a service game. They've hinted at many things that are going to be coming once the game is released, but keep in mind, because often games as services can tend to have a rocky start, aka Fallout 76 and many other games before it. Now, even though this is a shared world looter shooter, there is a main story that takes place in your home base of Fort Tarsis. They say that you're probably not going to be able to kill off any main characters that are going to be used in later parts of the story, but your decisions apparently matter, and that's going to impact how Fort Tarsis ends up developing and your story and your experience there. But speaking of the world is forged by gods, the Shapers, who abandoned the world and left their relics to cause havoc. So these relics cause Shaper storms, they call things into being, big monsters and all kinds of things like that. I think personally it's a fantastic MacGuffin as it comes to how they're going to lore, justify anything and everything. These Shaper relics go into hyperdrive mode, and that ends up being the big source in conflict. And with that, that brings in your main antagonist, the Dominion. They're a human-based military group that is going to be opposing the freelancers, who is basically the group that you're fighting for at the start of this game. Their leader is called the Monitor, and we've seen trailers of him as well. So he is going to be the one who thinks he can take these relics that were left by the Shapers and bring peace to the world. So his mission may be noble, but his actions definitely are not. And so that's going to be the main source of drama in the story as the player. So this game was designed and developed by the main Bioware team. The lead writer was actually also the lead writer for Mass Effect 1 and 2, so if people have good memories of Mass Effect 1 and 2, this is pretty much the team that started that. The game's been in development for over 6 years, but again, it's also published by EA, which is not having the best of reputations within the gaming community now, if ever. Now, pre-orders for this game are up, and if you do pre-order, you will get access to a VIP demo on the 25th of January 2019. But there is a free demo that will go live on February 1st through February 3rd. The game, I said, launches on the 22nd, but if you're an EA Origin Access Premier member or EA Access on Xbox, you will have access starting on the 15th, even though the Xbox and console versions will be limited to just 10 hours of playtime, while the PC will be unlimited. And that's, I think, the core of what you need to know whether you decide to pre-purchase this game, whether you decide to purchase this game when it comes out. I would highly advise and warn against pre-purchasing games. They tend to not necessarily go in your favor every time, but there is obviously a rare gem that can happen, and that's always fun. Now, one last note I want to leave you guys on as a little bonus bit is that your loadout, which is the guns and your gear, and your look are going to be completely separate. What they showed off and what they showed off with the strongholds, what they showed off with how you can kind of build and customize your gear set, it's fascinating. We talk about it in other videos, and we're working on, you know, a little bit more guidance to help new players kind of get into what news they might have missed as the game and information has been released. So look forward to that here on the channel in the coming weeks. But for Work to Game, my name is Brian. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Oh, hello. Were you expecting somebody? Chuck-like? Well, I'll never tell where he is. Only that if you want to see your friend again, you should totally hit subscribe. And maybe even a thumbs up. Thumbs down don't make me happy. And when I'm not happy, something happens to Chuck. I'm not joking. Goodbye. Subscribe. I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. See you next time.